A long time without being sick now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were super sick in the beginning of the semester.
All right, let's.
Yeah,
let's
I mean, I was sick for like
working.
6 straight days, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Thanks to Luke.
Yeah. Oh, so you did have what I had because I gave Luke that.
Probably. Luke gave something to Anna, who gave it to me, I think.
I'm
Or maybe I just got sick because I'm sick all the time.
I'm 90% sure about that.
Does anybody want a drink? I have more drinks.
I'm good. I'm good for now.
Actually, what do you have?
I have Sonic Boom. I have
Guile soda.
E-Tank.
Another E-Tank. Cool.
I have Sonic Speed
Ooh.
and Dragon Punch.
I'm good for now.
What are these drinks?
Oh, they're let me find the company brand because I don't remember.
Also, why is one of them called Sonic Boom?
They are Boston America Corp energy drinks based on video game licenses. They also have there's like a Pac-Man one. There's like a Rainbow Dash My Little Pony one.
Okay.
There's one of them's like the T-Virus from Resident Evil.
Yeah. Like all of them are cool, but then there's Sonic Boom, and then I'm like,
The Sonic one's actually okay.
okay.
It's probably the worst of these, but it's still good.
So like there are actual different flavors and shit.
Yeah, like Dragon Punch is like fruit punch, and
Nice.
E-Tank's like blueberry, I think.
Nice. Yeah.
Do you want one?
No, I'm good.
Daniel, son?
I'm good.
I'm assuming they're like energy drinks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like low content, like they're 110 calories a piece, like
Okay.
not that much sugar.
Okay. I'm fine for now, but yeah.
Oh, do you have anything you want to call the Warhammer episode?
I wouldn't know. I have no idea.
Do you have any wonderful puns other than needs more DACA?
No, I don't want to just go with a. We'll just call it.
No, we have to have a name. We have to keep this convention going. I'll accept no less.
Hmm.
Do you think I can get away with just playing Hearthstone this whole time?
Dude. Yeah, I'm trying to recall everything about like the Dawn of War series. It's been a while, but yeah. Aren't both of the games just like capture point, like in the multiplayer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, one has like multiple game modes.
Yeah.
And like there's like the regular
Yeah,
RTS game modes,
because I
like
know
elimination
two like
and stuff.
solidified it, so there wasn't like any base building and stuff. But
Which I don't know. I only played Dawn of War 1 for a little bit, but I kind of like the base building.
yeah, that was the one reason why I kind of didn't like number 2 was because of the lack of base building. Because I'm a StarCraft fan, so
Yeah, I mean, like, I really like 2, despite it being like a very different game.
Yeah,
it's still a very good game.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Because like I liked the focus on more like individual characters.
Yeah, I definitely had that going for it.
But that's off topic because our first topic is always off topic. So we have to be off topipic.
Oh.
We have to talk about what we've been doing for a week because this is something I just decided we'd do a few weeks ago. I haven't changed it yet.
That's fine.
So, we'll start with our guests. Ryan, what have you been up to?
I've still been playing lots of Gears of War. I have about 50 hours into it now, and I've been actually getting into the competitive stuff, and it's actually pretty fun. They have a game mode called Escalation, which you choose.
Can you scoot a little closer just to make
You
sure?
choose the weapon placements and everything between matches. So like, it's essentially a capture point, and if you capture all 3 points, you get an instant win, and it has this like build-up mechanic. So like, you start off with like 0 power weapons on the map, and each round the losing team with the best player of the losing team picks a slot for like a power weapon. So it increases like the amount of like deadliness of like each round, and each round the timer for the amount of time that you're spending dead goes up. So they kind of went for like trying to have a MOBA pacing because it's best to 7, like first to 7.
So it's
wins.
fairly long.
First to 7 kills or like capture points, or does it vary?
Wins, right?
Yeah, 7 round wins.
Oh, okay.
So like each match is about 5 minutes, so it goes.
So it can take a minute.
It's about a mobile game's length, so that because they took a lot from like the Dota scene for when like making the competitive thing.
Yeah.
So they kind of wanted to have that time limit, and then they also have adopted like esports supporter packs and stuff, in which I also bought one of those, and the skins for that is pretty cool.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
that sounds like a really that's a very unique game mode.
Yeah.
Adding like, I can't think of a better way to add like MOBA mechanics to like a very like otherwise traditional like third-person shooter.
Yeah, it's just a arena shooter.
Yeah.
Pretty much in the third-person perspective.
That's very interesting. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's
Does
actually
it,
pretty.
does it still play pretty handily like the old Gears games?
Yeah, it's pretty much everything is just a little bit faster because there's less of the times where you're like stuck behind cover and like you're both just kind of shooting at each other slowly because you can hop over cover
And you can
that'll
build
give them a
cover
stun and you can like get an insta kill with that. So there's a lot more risk to just staying in one point of cover, so everybody's moving around a lot more, which is a lot good, and it just kind of makes the mechanics a lot more clean,
Fast, fluid.
Yeah.
fast, fluid, and they also add
Well,
some
hello.
new power weapons
I didn't
that
think you would make it.
Well, hello.
are a lot more
I thought you had something to do.
interesting.
Are you gonna
In like
stick
10
around?
In like 10 minutes after this.
Oh boy,
Okay.
Wait, like 10 minutes from now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
it is Lucas.
Howdy,
Then I
everybody.
suppose.
A mysterious challenger has appeared.
I guess we could just start.
Yeah, let's just get started then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, welcome to Respawn Lounge. I'm your host, Casey Handshake Guy Moore, with my co-host
Daniel Kemper.
and
Goose?
Ryan, otherwise going by Dombey Duck. DOMBEE Duck.
and these are the same gentlemen that we had last week as well. Sans Riva.
Yeah.
Hello. What's your experience with Dawn of Wars, boys?
So, played all of the games. Have attempted when I was young to beg my parents into letting me make an army, and quickly failed at that because.
You mean like the board game?
Yes,
army?
yes.
The one that costs thousands of
I don't
dollars.
want to. I realized at that moment that it's definitely a better idea to play 40k and not to invest 40k. There's quite a lot.
Is that why
of
it's called
different-
Warhammer 40k?
Well,
Because it costs
yeah,
$40,000.
exactly. It costs
Makes a wonderful pun.
$40,000 to make a good army. It's real.
Yeah.
One,
But yeah.
one interesting thing about that, so Games Workshop has a new CEO as of like last year, so they've been releasing like cheaper and cheaper miniatures. They've been releasing, so everybody loves 30k, so they've been actually doing like 30k like boxes where you can just buy a box for like $100 or something, and you have like 2 full armies.
So they're going more down the route of like the Star Wars minis, where like literally you can just buy a box and you have the enemy side and the good
Yeah.
side, and you can literally just play it.
Because
Yeah.
like
Out of the
like,
box.
you have like a starter edition of
makes
the
sense.
rules. You have like you get like one like super cool unique unit for like both sides, and then you get like a lot of like the individual units for both sides. And like since for the new one, which is Prospero Burns, since all the units are just like Space Marines,
Yeah.
and like the Space Marine models are modular,
Mm-hmm.
you can run them as 30k units or 40k units. So you can just
That's
like play them into
hype
whichever side you
AF.
want. Only
my
these
God.
special units are restricted to 30k because like they're
Yeah.
obviously dead because it's been
Yeah.
10,000 years.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That is really
That's-
exciting. I'm glad that they're trying to make like hey, go to the store, buy this board game. Here's all the pieces to play it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I don't think it comes with the paints.
I
But like
mean-
you can fully like
Yeah.
assemble an army and like play. Like,
Yeah.
It comes with like a map and the
Yeah.
rules and like all the special like psyker power cards and all that kind of stuff.
That's amazing because I only know one person that has actually formed an army that took him 6 years to actually get like
Yeah.
bought and painted.
How is this game played? Like, do you build up your own personal army and you like go visit somebody or something, and then you like pitch your armies
Like there's
against each other?
tournaments and
Yeah,
like you
there's
have a
like all
point
the
value
tournaments.
system, so like you can only have a certain amount of like each unit is like worth amount of points, and then you
Yeah.
can play with like X army, and then you
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
In
So
a
that
tournament.
way like you don't somebody just didn't buy more units and they win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of card game shops and stuff like that hold tournaments.
Yeah.
Because those are the same places that like would sell 40k units or
Yeah.
40k miniatures.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
That
I
is-
remember seeing like a tank that was like this. I can't show with hands, but I was about to show a gesture, but yeah, like it's rather like moderate sized tank worth like $120, and it's like what the hell?
Yeah.
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 A lot of the miniatures are. I really like the quality of the
Oh,
miniatures. 'cause
they're awesome.
They're beautiful. They all look amazing.
They're
Which is
just-
why I'm horrified of buying a set and then painting it and like ruining it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
terrible
that's
at art.
I actually
Yeah,
have like a
that's-
really expensive like Mobile Suit Gundam kit, and that's exactly why I haven't built it. Because
Oh
I'm like, no,
my
I'm
gosh.
gonna destroy it if I try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I feel fairly confident in my ability to like put little plastic pieces together,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I'm not confident
not-
in my painting ability.
Not
Yeah.
not so much the art. Yeah.
So funny story. When I have 2 other brothers, and they're both older than me, just so everybody knows that. So when we were children, our parents decided it was a great idea to let us all our thing. Our thing that we got was not Warhammer 40k. That's not where the story is going. Get that out of your mind. But we actually like our thing, like every 2 or 3 weeks, we would like do all our chores stuff, and we would go and get like a Mobile Suit Gundam like kit like every like once a month, and it was insanity.
Yeah.
That's also where I got introduced to Toe Annihilation. Obviously, best RTS ever. Fight me if you disagree, but it was insane because it was like, oh, cool, here's this 8-year-old playing with all these tiny little parts. Oh God, what could go wrong? And like half of them were lost everywhere.
Hey.
But it was so wild because it
Hey,
was just
it's just adult Lincoln Logs, dude.
yeah,
Dude,
exactly. Yeah.
Dude, I mean,
Yeah,
Which are just
put
like
it together and
pre-adolescent
look at
Tinker
it.
Toys.
well, whatever, man.
I had a
It's
lot
awesome.
of Tinker Toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a tangent, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Warhammer's really awesome, so we can talk about Beyond the Dawn of War stuff.
Yeah.
What's your experience with Dawn of War, Ryan?
I've played through 1 and 2. Enjoyed it. My exposure is I initially got them from my local library and downloaded them that way, and they were on my old. They're probably still on my old PC. And yeah, I played through them, loved them, and then I've been more recently been playing like the Blood Bowl series and also the fantasy stuff. So
Now you talked to me about Blood Bowl a little bit the other day,
Yeah.
yesterday I think, and I just overheard you say like it's a football RPG.
yeah,
Yes.
it's football RPG. So you got like your team of elves, a team of orcs, a team of like goblins, and like it's entirely dice based. But like everybody has like each unit has stats and like certain attributes like on like a both down, like which is one of the rolls, which would typically knock both of them down. Like you can have one that like I forget the name of the stat, but like you can just hit them down instead of like getting it down. So you can like modify the RNG of the game, which is generally what you're going for, and
Right.
like double rolls and stuff like that for like dodge teams. So like elves like will get an extra roll if they like mess up a dodge to
Okay.
get through, and like yeah, so it's kind of like a SRPG with football mechanics.
So like,
Yeah.
Sure.
I find it really interesting that you're like a football RPG, and I'm like, have you not played
It's
this wonderful
wonderful.
title from Sega called Football Manager, which is
Oh,
actually a football RPG.
No.
Where you
That's-
make a team,
Okay.
choose all of your stats, and play the football.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what you do.
I get that, and you're right.
Yeah.
That is an RPG.
Yeah.
But when I
But this is
overhear
like-
football RPG, I'm imagining like a team of 5 like effeminate 17-year-old boys like dressed in full like football gear, like
Oh,
Ice
yeah.
Shield 21 or something.
Yeah.
Just,
They've got,
like,
like,
JRPG.
beating the
They've all
piss
got
out
like
of
these
each
like
other.
gigantic, overly
Oh.
uselessly large like
What-
footballs.
One of them holds the field goal to like hit you with.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like absolutely wonderful, and
Yeah.
I typically play the Goblin team, which typically kills themselves before they kill anybody else,
Goblins
or
are awesome.
Yeah.
it's hilarious because like you can just end up killing their team because your team has illegal weapons, which you basically have those units until somebody scores a goal or halftime comes.
Mhm.
So you're just trying to kill as many people so that because your team is horrible otherwise.
So that you can just coast in the second half.
Yeah, you're just
Yeah.
trying to kill their team so that you can like just win by sheer numbers instead of like actually like having a good team. So yeah, it's hilarious. I actually started streaming with this game because I loved it so
With
much.
Blood Bowl. Yeah. So if it's not clear, because we've talked about what like miniatures,
Yeah.
an RTS, and a strategy football RPG.
Yeah.
Warhammer is a very dynamic, diverse like
Yeah.
universe of entertainment mediums.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Games Workshop really knows what it's doing with crafting universe and letting people, I guess, exploit that for money and enjoyment.
Yeah.
Because there's also books. And
Yeah.
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 Other stuff. I assume.
There's books.
There's a movie.
There's a
sort
movie.
of.
People are doing like animated fan movies.
Yeah.
There's comics. There's also books. There's so many books. Oh my god.
Orks.
Hundreds.
So
Like,
what?
Actually, hundreds.
What exactly is Warhammer, Dan? And actually, you may get to play the game that you mentioned before. After all, which I can't participate in because I have no idea.
Which
Uh,
one?
oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, explain it.
Describe Warhammer in 20 words or less. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to abstain because I can't even begin.
Ryan, let's start with you.
Oh no! Which universe? Because I can
No,
horribly butcher
Warhammer
one.
is its whole. Let's assume that our entire audience doesn't
God.
know what Warhammer is because they probably don't.
In like 20 words?
Yeah, 20 words or less.
Give me a second.
I'll count. Actually, I'm gonna get a marker and I'm gonna keep track of them. I'm gonna tally your words.
All right.
I'll be over here.
All right. That's fine.
Go ahead.
In all like genre encompassing universe that has many fantasy races.
Hold on. Say it again.
And
An all-encompassing fantasy universe.
That like has a series of fantasy races that occur in both space and magic.
You may have
I
made
think that's
it.
more than 20. But
I
we'll
think
take
no.
it.
Hold on. I swear he's like one off.
I wasn't counting, so
I swear. Count that. I swear he's
Okay.
one off.
yeah.
20 exactly.
Oh my god, no way.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's
go for it. Here's-
insanity. Okay, so Warhammer is the struggle of paternalistic society versus anarchy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. It's like the whole thing. Wait.
It's
How
not-
many words do I have? Oh, I'm gonna have 11 words
You have 11 more words, Bo.
with interesting character design.
That's what you're adding?
It's true. It's
And-
it's important there.
You didn't count. Oh, okay, there you go. You count at the end. I want to make sure. And recreational sports.
Recreational.
Recreational
That's
sports.
accurate as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
so,
that's
so
true.
I would say that Casey should definitely try.
Uh,
Definitely.
Based off
And
of your
I
like
want
experience
to
of the
hear
Dawn of
this.
War
I
campaign.
want to hear this.
okay.
I just want to. You had me, whose main experience is off of a spin-off football game.
Okay, that's fine. You go first, Dan.
In the grimdark future of the year 40,000, and also the past, there is only war and comedy.
Okay. 18. Okay. In future, I think
Maybe.
Maybe.
psychic, stupid orcs and others fight for football and magic.
Wait,
And
like
magic.
as in like the right to play football, or like
I don't know.
Fight for football.
the right to play football is what we fight for 40,000 years.
That's what I've got, because my understanding of Warhammer is like strictly the tutorial I played of the first Dawn of War,
Oh.
and that orcs are like super psychic, amazingly powerful,
But dumb
in
as
the
shit.
world or something, but they're too stupid to realize it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's all I
basically
know.
that is. I mean, you're right,
Orcs were created as the ultimate weapon.
and don't realize they are the ultimate weapon. They continue
Yeah.
to search and try and take others' things and make them into the ultimate weapon, not realizing they themselves alone are the only ultimate weapon.
I love that the dumb, stupid orcs are older than like the ancient elves.
Yeah.
They predate them as like the ancient weapon to destroy all enemies.
And yet, the dumbest race in the
I
entire
love it.
existence of Warhammer.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
paternalistic society.
Are
Which
you,
is why I
are
love
you gonna get
goblins
out
and
of here,
orcs.
I am going to get out of here. I'm
Oh.
going to go present to a room
Sad
full
face.
of people in the Digitorium and
Would you like to
cry.
take a drink with you?
fun.
Yes, I would.
Please
Yeah,
take
whatever
Sonic
you
Boom.
Make sure
I swear,
actually,
I swear
what
you
is
won't
this?
regret
That's
it.
my candy bar. You can have
Oh,
some
wait,
if you
never
want.
mind, never mind. No, it's okay, it's okay. What are all of these? Are they all the same thing?
No.
I mean, they're different
They're all
flavors.
different.
All right.
It's the same idea of like
No.
branded soda.
Yeah.
All right.
And I want Sonic.
Oh,
Sonic
gotta
Boom.
Go fast.
Okay, he's going
I
fast.
have to go fast.
He's got to rush to his presentation.
Going
so he's gonna
speedy
need
fast.
Okay.
Rolling
We're-
around at the speed of sound.
All right. So, Dan,
Yeah.
actually explain what Warhammer is.
So, Warhammer is two settings,
Uh-huh.
and I think that's really important to clarify. So there is Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and then there's Warhammer 40k.
Okay.
They used to be canon with each other. There used to be implications that Warhammer Fantasy, which is not what it's called anymore. It's called Age of Sigmar now because it's, the universe exploded.
Yeah.
Okay.
They pulled a Final Fantasy 14.
Was the like the one thing that we don't, or like the one really major thing that we don't know about the 40k universe.
So did that like predate 40k, and like something happened and like blew it up, and now 40k is what's happening now?
Well, okay, so Warhammer Fantasy predated Warhammer 40k to the best of my knowledge. 40k came about originally as a game called Rogue Trader.
Okay.
And
Sounds right.
that was the first edition of Warhammer 40k. It's a very different setting than what it was now. And over time, Warhammer 40k developed into its own thing. And to become sort of like, since the universes, it wasn't really adding anything for the universes to be canon with each other. I mean, it's cool conceptually, and people still have like, you know, their theories about how the universes are connected and all that sort of thing. Because there's a really obvious point that I'll explain a little bit why the universes seemed to be very connected. But Warhammer eventually became its own thing, and despite the glaring similarities between the two, they are no longer canon with each other and are two entirely separate universes. Which is why Warhammer Fantasy was able to blow up and become Age of Sigmar without anything happening to 40k.
Okay.
Let's see. So, Warhammer is obviously a very, very broad setting. Warhammer is described as 40k specifically, in like the opening preamble that's given before like almost all media in 40k, is described as grim dark. In the grim dark future of the year 40,000, there is only war.
And is that literal? Like there's just like constantly factions fighting against each other and so on. That's like the basis for the setting.
Yeah. So like 40k is the universe is just like at a breaking, or the galaxy, because it actually only expands just like the Milky Way galaxy. Is at a breaking point, and someone's gonna win, and everyone else is gonna die.
Okay.
Pretty much. There's like some potential for, you know, some cooperation and friendship between some of these people, but that's probably not gonna happen.
Cooperation.
So is Warhammer media progressing in such a way that there is going to be an end to the 40k universe?
So, interestingly enough, 40k has progressed to the last minute of the last day of the year 40,000, or of the 41st millennium.
Okay.
But we have not gotten past that point. So, and like, Warhammer does not, being just a setting instead of like a story, does not really need to progress. People want the universe to progress, and they want to learn more things about the setting and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of like history and a lot of things that happened that have not really been covered yet, or like have been covered briefly, or are being like rewritten.
Because that's kind of interesting, because it sounds like they kind of set the end of the story to like, but they said it's far enough along in the future that you go back and you fill in those gaps later. So like, the end of it is like kind of inevitable, it seems. So the real important and the meat of the history is backwards.
Yeah.
So the way that the books work, do they just kind of like start at the end, and then like they've been fleshing out the books like further and further back into like the 30th millennium and stuff like that, or? So
the way it works is there's two main, okay, so first level canon is the Warhammer codexes. The codexes are books that contain the rules for how to play the Warhammer 40k wargame.
Okay.
These include lore about all the different factions, all the different people in it, and describe histories of things. Everything else is secondary to that.
Okay.
And that is where we've gotten up to the last moment. But the other media, especially the books, though not necessarily canon, like there's second order canon. So at any moment they can be overwritten.
Yeah, so it's like the Star Wars extended universe essentially, where like literally they can just
canon
roll
until
over
said
it.
Otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's in a less nebulous state. Where it's like all of this stuff has happened.
Okay.
And like 100% guaranteed, like all of this stuff has happened, unless the codexes state otherwise.
Okay. Okay.
That sounds kind of Mad Maxy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily derivative or like sequential or anything, just like vaguely probably someone's tale of what happened to Mad Max.
Yeah.
because the Mad Max movies aren't really like sequels to each other. They're just like
Mhm.
stories from some secondary source that may or may not be true.
Yeah.
Which is why Mad Max is awesome.
Yeah, Mad Max is awesome.
Yeah.
But so the 40K books, there's a lot. They all go in very different directions. Some are placed in in like the times that the 40K universe is taking place in right now. So like the end of the 41st millennium. Some take place 10,000 years ago. One takes place 40 or almost 30,000 years ago. It's like a short story describing the end of the last church on Earth. It's a really interesting one because of just like stuff about the Emperor and why he's ending it. And the 40K universe is a very interesting place with a lot of stuff going on. The main book series that's going on right now is called The Horus Heresy. Ryan's laptop is screaming.
Yeah. I don't know
That's
why.
okay. No, I mean, yeah. So Warhammer 30K is the events that set in motion all the horrible, awful things that are happening in Warhammer 40K. And so I think it's on its like 37th book now.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn
And
son.
are they sequential or?
They're not necessarily sequential, but they're all telling the story and they're all progressing towards like the end.
Okay.
And so I guess I kind of just assumed this, but is 40K the year is going to be like the end of this war in some capacity, right?
Well, okay, so something's gonna happen. So there's like various competing factions. One important thing about the Warhammer universe for the humans is that the Emperor is dead, functionally.
Yes.
He sits as a decaying corpse on a throne, kept alive by 1,000 souls of psychic people every day. But the throne, which actually no one knows who created it. The Emperor found it,
Okay.
like 40,000 years ago. He just found it. Nobody knows where it came from, and it's like connected to all sorts of other things. But it's finally breaking, and no one knows how to fix it. So the Mechanicus, who are like just the tech department of the 40K universe.
The city help call center.
Yeah. They love robots and they love being robots, but they can't actually become robots because that's illegal.
Yeah, that's heresy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One actually really interesting, a little off topic, but one interesting tidbit is that AI is like prohibited in all human culture because they had AIs and they tried to kill everybody. So there may or may not be artificial intelligence in the 40K universe now, depending on your opinions. The cult Mechanicus calls it machine spirits, which is either like the embodiment of the machine god, the Omnissiah, in these machines, or like the souls of like other Mechanicus members or something like that inside of these machines, or it's actually AI and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And there's sort of implications both ways, which I think is really interesting.
Huh.
So the Emperor is dead, or like is about to die, and so the Mechanicus is going to the home city of one of their like worst enemies, the Dark Eldar, and they're going to ask them for help because they don't know what else to do.
Cool. So that's kind of the like teaming up despite the end of the universe, meaning like only one faction survives.
Yeah. So like the Eldar are like also good, but they're sort of in competition with humanity because humanity's like very xenophobic and has become more so over like the past 10,000 years.
Actually, why is it exactly? Because you said like one group's gonna survive and all the others die, right?
Pretty much.
Is that like some kind of prophecy, or is that just like how things are gonna have to turn out in some way?
That's pretty much how things are gonna have to turn out. So okay, listing off of the major factions in 40K. I'm just gonna combine all of humanity under one faction. There's technically like
5
subgroups.
billion.
Yeah, there's technically like subgroups in there, but they're all fighting for the same purpose. For humanity to survive. So there's humanity, which is I'll just call the Imperium from now on. Eldar, which are space elves. Dark Eldar, which are evil space elves. Orks, Necrons, which are space like space insect lizards that are coming from outside of the galaxy and just like consuming worlds and eating everything. They're way stronger than like anything else, and we don't know how strong they're gonna get because they just keep getting stronger. So they might win. Let's see. There is the Necrons, who want to destroy all life everywhere forever.
So it's not so much a prophecy so much as it's like the goals of each faction is just consists of everyone else dying.
Yeah, there are prophecies about how the universe will end.
But it's not like everyone else has to be dead on like the first year of 40K or something. It's like for humanity to survive, everyone else has to die, and like for the Eldar to get their goal, everyone else has to die.
And the orcs are just retarded, so they
Orcs
everyone
are
has to
stupid,
die.
and they're gonna kill everyone on accident.
Orcs are stupid. There's the potential, technically, that a human one specific human, very specific human, might actually be able to lead the orcs and like turn them against everything else, and then humanity's probably unstoppable. Commissar Yarrick, who is the greatest character ever.
What's his deal?
So his deal is that he has been fighting on this planet called Armageddon for forever, pretty much, against Ghazghkull Mag Thraka, who's the current like biggest orc.
Mm-hmm.
He's so important that he's like getting close to summoning the orc gods and then just like obliterating everything. But his arch nemesis is actually just some guy named Commissar Yarrick. Like, Commissar Yarrick is not he wasn't specially powered in any way. He's just like a human being who's just like tough. But he killed so many orcs, and at one point got his arm ripped off by an orc, and then replaced it with a giant like robot orc arm, and just like went around killing everybody with his giant robot orc arm. And because he seems to act so much like an orc, orcs think that he is like orky. And one thing about orcs is that they are the most potent psychic race in the universe. What they believe becomes true. None of their technology, none of their guns or spaceships or anything actually work. They just believe it does, and so it is. Their spaceships have holes in them. Their guns don't actually have any like, firing mechanisms. One of their famous spaceships is get an asteroid and then strap rockets to it and just shoot it down into like a planet.
Yeah.
But they believe that he is orky, and they believe that he's just like fundamentally tough, and he has either through them become invincible, or the god of like the chaos god of war loves him so much that he has refused to allow him to die. Also, he can shoot laser beams now out of his eyes because orcs think that he can.
That's wonderful.
So the orcs have this like almost self-fulfilling prophecy where they're just like probably thinking he's so strong, and so he just is becoming that strong.
Yeah.
So if they thought that he could destroy all orcs, then he could.
Yes.
Wow.
Orcs are incredibly powerful.
So when you said that he has the potential to like lead the orcs, do you think that that's just kind of a branch of that where they'll think he's so powerful that he could lead them, and then he is?
So, like the war boss, Ghazghkull Mag Thraka, if he kills him, then the orc order is like if a bigger orc kills like the other orc, then he's the boss now.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be the boss.
Oh, okay. So if he's just invincible because the orcs think he is, and he kills this orc, then he just becomes the orc leader.
Yeah.
Okay. But
potentially.
Wow.
That has not happened. That's sort of like fan theory levels of stuff, but like people talk about that because it's totally a thing that can actually happen now.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. But that's a little strange though, because it sounds like they would just assume that their leader is all powerful, and then so he is.
Well, so they assume he's powerful, but like, he's still not all powerful. Like all other races are also psychic. So I mean, like they're influencing all of this other stuff all the time, and they don't assume that Ghazghkull Mag Thraka is invincible.
I mean, more so like
an orc like them.
I mean, more so like it just seems like their culture would be to assume that their leader is like the strongest person in the universe, and then he just would be.
Yeah, I mean, like,
well,
because he kind of is.
Yeah,
but if if he was the strongest in the universe because they believed he was, and then someone came along and appeared to be stronger to them, could they just like accidentally psychic revoke his strength?
Sort of.
Like if they just ceased to believe that he was that strong, he just would stop being that strong.
Yeah. Like because like the direct influence is like Stranger. Like his like muscles like won't like deteriorate if they like stop believing in him or something like that. Because like like Orks understand like conservation of mass and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind
Not
of.
really, but like like someone just doesn't get smaller.
Yeah.
But through their beliefs, they can make people like immune and make them way stronger. There's
So he would just revert to like normal work.
yeah, like one of the there's like one famous goblin which are called Gretchen in the 40k universe. That was Gazgul Mag Thraka's like best friend. And he carried this like banner around everywhere, and he just continued getting lucky to like not be shot for like an incredibly long time. So people believed that the banner made him invincible, and so like luck-wise, like just bullets would just misfire or like not hit him.
Wow.
And because they believed that this artifact was, despite the Gretchen being dead now, this artifact still carries that power.
Well. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
Orcs
so-
are one of the most interesting races in
Yeah.
40k.
So does it have to be the collective orcs, or can it just be one orc that believes in something and then suddenly it is?
I mean, like, orcs are incredibly psychically powerful. One orc believing something like intently, like, probably won't just like,
Okay.
I believe that planet doesn't exist anymore, and it doesn't.
Okay.
Like, nothing like that's gonna
Okay,
happen.
okay.
But, like, all orcs think that their technology works, so it
Okay.
does.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
And so, like, I mean, like, it's the power of, like, their, like, culture and, like,
Yeah.
ideas spreading
The like
through their
group
culture.
think.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
So there's also the Tau, who are space weeaboos, the Necron, who are space mummies, and then Chaos, who are space evil.
Yeah. Yeah, and chaos is like Nurgle and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, there's 4 Chaos gods.
Nurgle from Billy and Mandy?
I don't
Or
remember
is
that.
there another Nurgle?
Is he a gross sluggy thing?
Nurgle was like the underworld god with like tentacles and shit. And I think was also like Erwin's dad or something.
Huh.
They might have stolen that from.
I don't know.
Is Billy and Mandy canon to 40k?
Nurgle doesn't have like tentacles or anything. He's like a gross fat blob with like deer antlers.
Okay, probably not then.
He looks really interesting. Nurgle, the god of like decay and entropy. Slanesh, the goddess of, or god whatever of pleasure. Korn, the god of like pretty much war, and Tzeentch, the god of change.
Yeah.
All 4 of them important with various things. They're all doing their evil things all the time. Oh, another interesting thing about orcs.
Yeah.
Orcs cannot be corrupted by chaos. They are immune.
You'd think they would be closer to chaos? I don't know.
Yeah. Like they are. So the warp, which is where chaos resides,
Yeah.
is the psychic reflection of all psychic life in the universe.
Yeah.
But orcs do not really have like fear or hate or like many like negative emotions. Like they can't really be destroyed by like their own thoughts by chaos, because so orcs understand that their souls are when they die are given back to their gods Gork and Mork,
Yeah.
and they're just placed in a new body. Like they don't want to die and they'll like run away from dying, but they usually accept it.
Yeah.
Because they know that they come back.
Huh.
All they want to do is fight, and they've been doing that for forever. So
Yeah.
like they're just happy exactly the way they are.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And kind of cute in a weird sense.
Yeah.
They're
Also-
just happy with it.
I love that the ultimate answer to solving all the issues in the 40k universe is love and friendship, because everyone's just happy, chaos stops being evil.
Wait, what?
So like the chaos gods are only evil because of like the collective suffering of the psychic races. Because like the chaos gods are more just like manifestations of like concepts. They're not inherently evil, but they have become evil because people think they are.
Huh.
Because people like view the universe as being evil, so it is.
Huh. That's interesting because the only thing that I knew about the Chaos Gods was like the fact there was multiple Chaos teams in Blood Bowl. So there was like the Nurgle and like one for like each god. So
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're very cool.
Yeah. I'm learning things about the lore.
So, this is actually taking a lot longer than I thought. I didn't think we'd have so much to say about Warhammer.
I have a lot to say about Warhammer.
Considering I have nothing to say about Warhammer.
Hey man,
So,
there's a lot about it.
much as I think this is super interesting, I would actually like to move on to the Dawn of War games in particular.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll finally chime in.
Yeah.
When I was looking up Dawn of War, because my experience with Dawn of War is I actually do own both of them and all the expansions, including Blood Bowl, which now I'm excited for.
Yeah.
So I've literally only played the tutorial of Dawn of War 1. I have almost no experiences with RTSs in general. I played like Command and Conquer on the 360 once, and that's pretty much. I played StarCraft 64 for like 15 minutes. So, not my genre. I just don't have that much experience with it, unfortunately. I do, but I did actually really enjoy playing Dawn of War yesterday for an hour. I thought it was super fun. I would love to get into the series, especially now because it just sounds like goofy and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
So the Dawn of War series in particular is a real-time strategy series developed by Relic Entertainment. It's based on the popular tabletop game that we've been talking about, Warhammer 40k. It was published by THQ in September 2004 with 3 expansions: Winter Assault, Dark Crusade, and Soulstorm, released in what? And Blood Bowl.
I'm sorry. I was saying you listed them in the exact correct order.
Yeah. Released in 05, 06, and 08. A sequel, Dawn of War 2, was released in 2009. And there were a couple of Game of the Year editions of the original Dawn of War 2. One was in 2005, I believe, which included Winter Assault. And then a gold edition was released, which included all of them in 2009.
Dawn of War 2 also has 2 expansions, Chaos Rising and Retribution. And then there's a standalone called The Last Standalone. It's the Last Stand game mode from Retribution.
Cool. And the first Dawn of War was like pretty well received, like typically like 9 out of 10 or equivalents across the board. Most of the complaints tended to be that the campaign was too easy and too short.
Yeah.
Which I think you told me it's like give or take 9 hours long.
It's like 12 hours.
Yeah. And I literally played the tutorial, so I can't comment on the difficulty. But I mean, it seemed like simple enough to play, which is something that RTSs kind of scare me a little bit because I'm like, I have to learn like all this terminology and stuff that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
Dawn of War 1 feels like the place to start if there ever were one.
Yeah. Because it's not a very weird RTS, despite it being in set in a really weird universe.
It's definitely like a weird universe, but like in terms of like getting into the RTS universe or not universe genre. It's a game that you don't have to have 400 APM to enjoy, like, say, StarCraft.
Yeah.
Which I used to play, like, during Wings of Liberty and stuff, and holy crap, playing against Koreans. No. Don't do it. Never. But, Dawn of War is a lot more, like, chill and, like, back to, like, more of the age of Empires and stuff where you could kind of turtle a little bit and it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. The Dawn of War campaign... those complaints are fairly valid. It's not very hard. I'm terrible at RTS games, despite loving the Dawn of War series. And I've beat the campaign on hard, which is the hardest difficulty they offer.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of a hard RTS campaign.
I don't know.
Because I've played through StarCraft. It's not bad. Warcraft, not bad.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a hard one or an intense one. Maybe like
fairly
high level StarCraft is a little intense.
Well, but high level
story campaign.
Yeah, if you're talking about the campaign alone, it's fine. You can totally do. It's totally accomplishable by anybody that doesn't have like an APM over like 30. So you could totally play play those like through fine. Like the only hard part about StarCraft is its competitive community because it's literally just the Koreans now, and you will get wrecked. So yeah,
Yeah. There's a very high skill ceiling in StarCraft, and people have pretty much hit it.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and literally anybody that's like just getting into it, you just will get wrecked because the only people that are playing right now are at the top of the ceiling and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, nothing's too hard. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a criticism.
Yeah, I mean, like, not
Yeah.
really. Like, I mean, because you can still play the multiplayer and like make it as hard as you want.
Yeah.
You know, playing against real people is always going to be interesting.
Yeah. There's always going to be optimizations of builds and stuff that people will find.
Yeah.
I never played during like. Did it have an online scene?
Or
Or was it all LAN? I forget.
I don't know. I mean, it has an online scene. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it connects through like GameSpy or something, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah, because I never played much of online, so I can't
Me
really
neither.
speak. I can't really speak to like how competitive it is or whether there's like only one meta or anything like that. But overall, it seems a pretty approachable game.
Yeah.
And they go on sale on Steam pretty often.
Yeah.
I think I bought like literally every Warhammer thing on Steam
Yeah,
for like $15.
I think there's like
Yeah.
a Warhammer complete pack that like I've seen go to like
Yeah.
$99, and
Yeah,
you get
it
literally
went-
every Warhammer game in existence.
It's just a lot of games.
it went on sale sometime like earlier this year. And,
Yeah.
And yeah, I got them all for like
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Games Workshop. Yeah, there's definitely a lot for 40K because they license that out to pretty much anybody that wants it.
Yeah.
Which is why there's really bad mobile games of it. But
Yeah.
but
Is
the PC
Warhammer's
games
not,
are super good.
Warhammer's not open source, is it?
No.
They
No.
just like give the license out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're pretty
they're-
they're pretty loose with it.
Yeah, they're very lenient with the license, which is like, I think is an okay decision for 40K,
Oh yeah.
because 40K is more of like a setting than a story. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
40K doesn't have to deal with people like, this happened in this video game, so the canon's ruined.
Yeah. No. Like.
Like nobody cares.
You know.
Mhm.
I mean, people care, but like people don't care that much.
Yeah, with
especially
video
about
game
like random like
Yeah.
mobile games.
Yeah.
Nobody's too concerned about the canon of that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of when is Dawn of War 3 coming out.
Dawn of War 3 should be coming out, I think, next year sometime.
Yeah, because that was being shown off at E3 and that looked pretty cool.
Yes. People are sort of mad about Dawn of War 3
Really?
because, I mean, like, you know, like the game's sort of different.
Yeah.
The E3 trailer did not have the voice actor back for the main character,
Oh.
which I love. Gabriel Angelos is the main character of like the Dawn of War, the Dawn of War
Yeah.
franchise. He shows up in Dawn of War 1 and then like all
Every expansion.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
he doesn't show up in the Dawn of War 1 expansions, which I think is
Okay.
interesting. But he's in all of Dawn of War 2.
Okay. Yeah. You see, I didn't notice that, so I thought it was cool.
Yeah. And people
I just looked him up. The voice actor is Paul Dobson
for
for the
Yeah.
character you just named.
yeah.
Who
Captain
also
Gabriel
played
Angelos.
who who also played Zarbon in the Ocean dub of Dragon Ball Z.
Huh.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's got a really long list of things he's been in, and I recognize like none of them. Like he was in NASCAR Racers as Jack Fraser.
He has a fantastic voice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to see like literally anything.
I'm
I
sorry.
recognize.
I'm sorry. I just laughed because of NASCAR.
NASCAR racers.
What?
Oh,
why would
there we
you-
go. He was August in East 6, The Ark of Nephishtim. There we go. I have a
we go.
connection to this game now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, he was Green Goblin in Spider-Man: Battle for New York.
Weird. So people were mad about that. Hopefully they get him back.
Yeah.
I don't mind the new voice actor too much if like they stick with that guy. But I would love to have.
I can
Gabriel
imagine they could
Angelos
totally
as-
switch it around because then it gets mad at something.
Yeah,
I
I would
wouldn't-
love to. I would love to have him back because I think his voice is awesome.
Oh, yeah,
And
totally.
I love Gabriel Angelos as a character.
Yeah.
And people were sort of mad because in Dawn of War 3, Gabriel Angelos. Gonna talk about some nerd stuff here. Gabriel Angelos has Terminator armor, which is like the super heavy duder.
Oh yeah.
Heavy
Heavy
Heavy duder.
Oh,
my
we
God.
finally have a catchphrase, boys.
Oh, God.
It's heavy duty. Yeah.
Heavy duty power armor. in the 40k universe.
Thanks, man.
Every piece of Terminator armor is like is placed or has one piece of the Emperor's armor like placed on it as like a sigil. So they're all very important. But he's wearing one because plot's progressed and he's like super important now. I'm not gonna spoil things that have happened in the other games.
Yeah.
But
Play them.
play them. But people are complaining because he has like the ability to jump, which is sort of not a thing in Terminator armor.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. I don't care if it looks ridiculous or doesn't really work, but it's a game.
My suggestion.
It's a game.
Relic, if you're listening to this podcast.
Hi, for one.
Yeah, hi for one. Thanks.
Hi, thanks for
I
listening.
love your video games.
Wow.
Just add like crazy Prometheum jets to like the bottom of his Terminator armor feet. Everyone's gonna love it. And
Just make it as ridiculous as possible.
yeah. But it's fine.
It's fine.
That's like this is the only really big.
Yeah.
Or there's the only like things that are, like I've
Okay.
seen people really complaining about.
Okay.
People were like fairly mad about this. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get over it.
Yeah.
Because those are not
Yeah.
like, really big deals.
This is how long has it been since the last Dawn of War game?
7 years, if you don't count expansions.
What? 7 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Dawn of War
it's
2
been
came out in 2009.
What?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been less years between a 3D Mario game, like a 3D like behind the back single player Mario game.
Super Mario Galaxy 2 came out in 2012, so yes.
20, yeah, I thought it was 2007. Or
Galaxy 1 was 2009.
okay, where did okay? Never mind. But yeah.
I think.
It's
I'm pretty
about
sure.
it's about the same.
Yeah,
What?
Retribution, the last expansion to come out for Dawn of War 2, came out in March 1.
March once.
March the 1st.
March 1st, 2011.
Okay, not that long.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's almost 6 years. That's kind of long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
It's been
pretty
a while though.
pretty big while. They've been teasing us for a while, adding
Yeah.
characters to like the standalone for Retribution.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like we've had like nothing, and we had Space Marine come out between.
Yeah, Space
Dawn of War.
Marine 40K,
Yeah.
the third-person shooter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which people don't like. I love it. I think it's
Yeah, it was
awesome.
fun. Yeah, it was fun.
I love being able to like physically see areas in 40K.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was totally cool, and me being a person that went into it without any knowledge of 40K, like a slim knowledge of like what I've heard on different podcasts of people loving 40K.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like all the lore I did, but it was just a fun shooter in general.
Yeah.
Mechanics are solid and everything. I enjoyed it.
It's just a fun third-person shooter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, also one fun thing. The Space Marines that you play as in the Dawn of War games, the Blood Ravens, were actually not canon when they came out. They were like created as as like an army of Space Marines for the Dawn of War games, and have since become so beloved, like they've become canon and are sometimes more recognized now than the like super canon ones called Blood Angels that look sort of like them.
Yeah.
Is that what that is in the middle of this picture here?
Yeah, I think these are the Blood Angels because they're just red.
Yeah.
Unless I'm colorblind.
No,
No.
they are red. You're right.
They are very red.
Okay, cool. when I grabbed the picture, I thought they were yellow.
Oh.
But
Oh wait, yeah.
Hold on.
These
the ones
ones?
on the left are yellow.
These ones?
The big dude in the middle is red.
Oh.
Big dude in the middle
Oh,
that is like
okay.
chaos
This-
consumed is
These,
red.
these dudes right here.
They are for sure yellow
Okay.
On
on
the
the
far
screen.
left, all the
Okay.
white dudes.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So I'm super colorblind.
Yeah,
And those
yeah.
guys on the left are actually the Imperial Fists.
Yeah, those are the, yeah,
Nothing like the Blood Angels.
yeah. For a second, I thought you were talking about the guys on the right, but then I realized they were chaos, and
I
that's
think those
different.
are the Iron Warriors on the right. I can't tell because I'm super colorblind.
All I
Did you
know
see
is they have chaos stuff on them, and they're
Yeah.
pure black otherwise.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
They're either Iron Warriors or the Black Legion. I can't tell. I'm colorblind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm ignorant, so I can't help either.
Yeah, but going back to what you were saying, I definitely say Dawn of War is like one of the most recognizable games out of the 40K universe.
Yeah.
To come out, so that's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
Dawn of War games. I think they're all very, very fun.
Yeah.
Dawn of War 2 is a very different game from Dawn of War 1
Yeah.
in that it's a small squad RTS.
Yeah.
So there's no base building, which people were really mad about when it came out,
Mm.
and are sort of still iffy about sometimes. Yeah. I think it's interesting. It's just like a like small squad RTSs to me are still legitimate RTSs.
Oh, yeah,
they're, just
definitely.
they're just a different like
They're a different
they're a
breed.
different subgenre of RTSs.
But I'm totally cool with that
Yeah.
because I don't know. Sometimes it's nice not to have like constant like management of your base and just be focused on the stuff that you're like actually controlling.
Yeah, I think the
fighting with?
characters in Dawn of War 2 are like
Yeah.
much more well developed.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's characters in Dawn of War 1, but there's like 4 that matter.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, there's like 7 total named characters in Dawn of War 1, as
Yeah.
opposed to Dawn of War 2, where there's like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a lot of games just kind of go through the like first phase of like, oh hey, here's our mechanics and here's the game. Do you like it? Okay, now we'll actually add like more story to it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like other games, like I mean, if you, sorry, I've been playing Gears of War a lot. If you look at Gears of War 1, it's literally, hey, we have large muscles and we cause blood. Isn't that cool? And then they actually have like development of characters and like add characters to it that actually matter, rather than, oh hey, here's generic soldier man that got stabbed.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think Dawn of War 2 does a really good job with like the small squad focus of making individual Space Marines
Yeah.
look really cool,
Yeah.
be individual characters, and like be individually interesting.
Yeah. Definitely.
Have you played Chaos Rising?
No.
Okay. There's I care a lot about all of the Space Marine dudes in Dawn of War 2. And I'm very sad. I'll just say that.
I'm very sad.
They won't come to my birthday parties.
Mhm.
They're too busy. They work weekends.
Yeah.
They work every day, fighting the good fight.
Single tear.
Okay. You guys want to take a break real quick?
Yeah,
Man,
totally.
we've been going at it for a while now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Dan, would you like to throw on some music?
Yes.
I don't know any more music. I'm sorry.
Let's get some.
Just find
I'm
a
actually gonna
soundtrack and
throw
put it
up-
on.
You can play a "Kiss from a Rose."
please put Kiss from a Rose.
I'm actually gonna play
Kiss from a Rose.
"Kiss from a Rose," my favorite
I could just
40K
karaoke
song.
"Kiss from a Rose" for the next 4.5 minutes.
I'm gonna play this soundtrack from the Lord Inquisitor, which just
Yes.
had its like opening a little bit come out recently, and it has cool music, and I recommend that anyone who cares about Warhammer go watch it because it's really cool, and it's very nice to see anything in Warhammer that has not already been completely destroyed.
Yeah. True.
I'm a big fan. Hey, welcome back.
Hello.
And we're back to the 40K, brother.
So Hulk Hogan running 40K now?
Yeah, man. I don't know.
So, Dan,
Yeah.
sell me on Warhammer. Sell me on Dawn of War.
So you want Dawn of War?
Yeah.
So, Dawn of War is a simple but fun RTS. Good mechanically, lots of actually like great variety between all the different factions. They all play very differently, but they're all understandable to play. And there's a fairly lengthy campaign. It's like about 12 hours, which I mean is not like incredibly long, but it's nothing to
Yeah, in terms of RTS, that's pretty long. That's about average.
with what I think is actually a pretty interesting story
Okay.
and really cool characters.
I concur.
Perfect. You sold me. I already own it.
Great, I did it.
Wow. Did you get it in a Humble Bundle?
Yeah, well, maybe actually. I don't remember.
I don't know.
That's so much
That's
you
how I
bought in the
actually.
past.
That's how I officially own it. Otherwise, I got it from a library.
Hey, whatever.
Hey,
CD
man.
security wasn't that important 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I own 2 copies of like all of the Dawn of War 1 and its expansions.
Yeah.
Because I own all of Dawn of War 1 and its expansions on disc, and then I also own them all on Steam.
Yeah. Hey man, you gotta get that Dawn of War.
I'm very happy with my decisions.
Yes. Life decisions well made.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So I think I've informed you a bit about the 40K universe.
Yeah, color me informed. Sounds super interesting. I think the lore is way more interesting than the game itself.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I love the 40K lore.
Yeah.
I think it's
I think
Yeah.
honestly, I think you've sold me on the books more than you've sold me on Dawn of War.
the books are great.
Yeah.
The books are actually very well written.
There's also a reason why there's a role-playing game book entirely off of just the
Yeah,
lore, because
I mean-
it's that
Yeah.
into it. People get that into it.
I was complaining about having too much disposable income the other day. Maybe it's time to get into Warhammer.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know if you have that much.
I actually forgot to mention this earlier. There's like 4, maybe 5 different role-playing systems based off of just 40K, and then
Yeah.
Warhammer Fantasy also has one.
Yeah. Like
there's-
I was actually looking into buying some of those books, but like
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it is to get them. But
So it's gonna be hard because
Yeah, it's-
Fantasy Flight Games is the publisher for those, and they just ended like
yeah, I'm
their-
fairly
their
sure they
contract.
discontinued them. So
They're going to be discontinued.
Okay.
They have not been discontinued yet.
okay, cool. Yeah.
But this is pretty much your like last chance to get them if you want them, which
Well.
I'm probably gonna have to buy some.
Yeah, I might have to buy them as well because I watched a podcast having somebody run through a campaign of that, and that was totally hype.
Yeah.
So
Very cool systems.
yeah, it's definitely interesting, and if you have people really into the 40K universe, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
So that all we got, boys?
I think that's
Yeah.
all we got. I could talk about Warhammer 40K forever, but for the sake of time, I think I got a good conversation in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, so we've got a couple announcements, a couple of things we want to go over real quick before we sign off. First of all, thank you again, Ryan, for stopping by. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you to Goose, who was here for a little while. Next week, I bought a new microphone, so our sound quality is going to improve. I bought a Blue Yeti.
Yeah.
Real excited. It's going to be super nice.
Primo.
Hoping for good things out of that. Next week's episode, in the spirit of Halloween, is going to be about one of my favorite series of all times, and this is my Warhammer, Dan.
Yeah.
Is Castlevania. I fucking love Castlevania. I could talk about it for days. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And kind of a shorthand announcement, real quick. We just made this decision a little bit ago. We're actually going to be doing a second episode of Respawn Lounge today when this episode ends. Granted, a little bit of time in between to prepare and set up and whatnot. If you somehow haven't heard, the NX was announced today as the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo's new console / portable handheld.
/ yes.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is I think it would be really weird if we had an episode that was like Warhammer plus Nintendo console announcement. That'd be really weird.
Yeah, just
So we're gonna separate them. We're gonna close this episode out. We're gonna do our sign-offs like normal, and we're just going to open a second episode as if it's a new day and a new topic altogether. So, thank you again.
Yep.
Thank you, Dan. Any other closing sentiment, guys?
I love 40K.
Dan loves 40K. Where can we be reached? Where can we find you, Ryan?
You can find me at twitch.tv/dombieduck, DOMBEE duck. I swear I usually stream on weekends, assuming that I'm not overly busy. This weekend might be an exception, considering we have a LAN event going on. That's 24 hours charity event.
Actually, if you want to go ahead and talk about that
Yeah,
for a couple seconds.
Yeah, so club on campus that I'm one of the leading members of.
Specify, we go to Northern Kentucky University.
Yeah,
Not your campus, probably.
Yeah, not on every campus around the world, but at NKU, I'm one of the leaders for a club on that campus called the Minjas, and every year we have a annual 24-hour charity event, which we raise funds for a charity of our choice. This year it's going to be Able Gamers, which go to improve the lives of disabled individuals through the power of games, through specialized controllers and other things. So come on down. We have a variety of tournaments, whether you are into casual games. So like we have a tournament for Pokemon Snap. We have a tournament for bad games if you want to speedrun bad games. We have a tournament for Halo. We have a tournament for Melee, League of Legends. If any of these things sound interesting, please sign up. And we also have a few raffles, which might have something you might want.
Yeah.
Also, entry is very cheap. It's $2 this year?
$2 for entry, $5 per tournament.
$2, and I think there's free food too, isn't there? Or do you have to pay for that?
You have to pay for that,
Okay.
but it's like, once again, like $1.
Yeah, not a lot. You'll be all right.
It's for charity.
You won't break the bank, and you'll be supporting charity.
Yeah. and I've been to these events before. Dan's been to these events before. I went last year and coordinated the Melee tournament.
Yeah.
It was a blast. Everyone who shows up is great. It's so much fun. You get to like sleep in inappropriate places around the school.
Yeah.
It's great.
I typically pass
That's
out
the
like
real
somewhere in the middle of the hall, and it's wonderful.
People bring their big, huge computer towers and they set it up.
Yeah.
I did like a little like side room game of like Game Dev Tycoon where I had people name games and whatnot. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like this year we also have a variety of like larger name sponsors like Microsoft and like a few things from other like large companies as well. So it's pretty hype.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Show up if you can. It's very cheap. It's very fun.
Yeah.
Okay. As usual, if you want to hunt us down, you can email us at respawnloungeofficial@gmail.com. If you have any suggestions for the show, if you'd like to be on, if you're not my friend on Facebook and hear this anyway, like most of our viewers are, you can get it to us on Twitter at respawn_lounge. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know. We don't use it that much. You can also get to our personal Twitters. I'm at Handshake Guy. Dan, you don't really use Twitter.
No, I have a Twitter. I don't post anything on it. It's at is_not_and_x.
Easiest way to get to us would be email or my personal Twitter. So yeah, we're going to sign off. It is 7:17 right now. We'll probably be back up and running at about 7:25, 7:30, give or take. So yeah, we'll see you shortly if you want to stick around. Again, we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch, what we know, what I think I know, and what my predictions are.
Yeah.
And with that, I will see you all shortly.
Good night to people who are, watching this online or
leaving.
Okay, everyone's watching this online. People watching this on YouTube. Shh, I extended this way too much. Good night.
Good night.